Men, y'all need to understand what I'm about to say. This is mental health month for men, okay? But what I'm finna say is some real shit. Nobody talks about andropause, and that silence is literally costing men their lives for real.
Dominique from Feminine Health and Wellness. I saw this video you did on andropause, male menopause. I didn't really know exactly when you said andropause what the technical name for it was, but we generally refer to as. I've heard of male menopause before, so I wanted to bring you on to talk about this. So thank you for coming on and sharing this, because you shared it on your channel, and your link to your channel will be in the description if you guys want to check out that video. It was very interesting. So I wanted to bring her here because she normally does information around feminine health and wellness, but occasionally she does talk about men health and wellness, because that is connected to feminine health and wellness to some degree. So we're going to let this gentleman talk and explain andropause, and then we're going to have a discussion about it. All right, let's go.
It's causing a lot of men to lose their lives. Andropause is what happens when a man's testosterone starts declining, usually somewhere between their 30s up to 55. Now, like menopause, it doesn't announce itself. It just quietly takes things away. Women have perimenopause, thank God, to give them the signs that they're finna go through their stage of menopause. Men, we don't have that. Women go through much, much worse than we do, I admit. But when we go through that andropause, that shit got some deadly shit that's going to happen to you mentally, emotionally, and it has even caused people to commit suicide. It has ruined families, marriages, relationships, jobs, you name it. It's done these things similar to what women go through. So if you want to hear how this thing works and what it does to people, I'm going to tell you in this video, if you just want to take the time to learn it and share it with people you love, whether it's men and women.
Okay, let's stop it right there before we go any farther, right?
Okay.
So he referred to women having perimenopause, and I know you had a discussion about that on your channel before, and you talk extensively about that. And I don't know if I guess men don't have it. So you want to fill us in on the menopause part in case we need to be brought up to speed on that, and we'll try to interweave them together.
Okay. So, hi. Thank you so much for having me on your channel. Thank you so much. I on my channel, Feminine Health and Wellness, I talk about health and wellness, and when it relates to this particular topic, I did a series on basically menopause. I came back. I did a series on my channel earlier, and then I came back again and did it because of the research that is showing that women are coming into perimenopause at an earlier age, as early as 35 years old. So I thought that it was necessary to come back on my channel and talk about that, because I felt like that was very, very important. Although I had already talked about perimenopause and menopause prior at some on another video, but I thought it was very, very important. So when we are going through menopause, we have all kinds of signs, whether we are aware of those signs or not. As women, sometimes we're not, because life is lifing, as they say. And sometimes you just think that you're tired, or sometimes that you think that you're just stressed out. But, pretty much you're going through perimenopause,
Right.
and those symptoms are similar to andropause, but it's still different. It's way different, because our body experiences are totally different.
Right.
And women are beginning, like I said, to go through it as early as 35 years old, all the way up to, as we know, if you watch that video about the lady, she was 64 years old or 65 years old, and she was pregnant.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
So you can continue to have your cycle all the way up until, I've heard some women 73 years old.
Okay.
Yes. So, but during that process, you are going through that life change. You're
Okay.
going through that life change. You are experiencing no cycle on, cycle off, mood swings, all of that stuff. So it is very, very similar. So I thought that it was necessary on my channel, since it was Men Health Month, to bring in andropause and talk about it,
Right.
because I came across this video as I shared with you, and I was in awe. I knew that men went through something, but I didn't know it had a name to it, right?
Okay.
I didn't until I did my research on it and discovered that andropause is a real thing. It is real, and men are suffering from it every day. And it's a sad thing to say that men are suffering in silence, I feel, and it is not being shown awareness of. And so I thought maybe it will be a great, you came to me and you said, hey, and with Men Health Month, I thought it
Right.
would be great, to come on here and just have this discussion, especially when it comes to men health. Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna read the comments at the end
Okay.
because this is going to explain a lot. I saw the video and I just happened to read the comments. I always read the comments, and that'll
Okay.
explain why men don't discuss it. But we'll get to that a little later. But
Okay.
so you're saying the perimenopause
Mm-hmm.
is what women suffer through. What are the
Mm-hmm.
symptoms of that, and how did you know men suffer through something? What gave you that indication that men had something that that they suffered through too?
Well, I heard older women, when I was younger, and heard a lot of older women saying that, oh, he's just going through the change, or he's
Mm,
just going through life changes, but they never had a medical name for it.
right.
But I heard older women say that, and they refer to it as that. Oh, he'll be okay. He's just going through life changes, you
Okay.
know. So this was way back, I guess, when my grandparents,
Right.
was alive, and they talked about that and stuff like that. They didn't brush it under the table, but they was kind of like patient with it, like it was a normal way of life,
Right.
and he gonna be okay. And so fast forward to now, I didn't realize that it was a medical name or a
Mm,
medical situation until this guy came, and I came across his video, and he explained it, very clearly, of what men go through. So I thought it was
right.
right after I did my series on perimenopause and menopause, I thought it was appropriate, especially with it being Men's Health Month.
Okay. All right. That
Yeah.
was a little technical difficulty on my part. I was trying to enlarge
That's
my screen. Okay. So let's let him finish out, and then I will pick it up from there.
okay.
Now, the first thing that it's going to hit you with is depression. Once it can get that going, everything else is going to work like clockwork against you, but not the kind that people recognize as depression. It's not the crying. It's the emptiness. It's a man sitting at the dinner table with his whole family and feeling completely alone. And because he doesn't know the words for it, he goes literally silent at the table, and everyone around him starts to feel that. And they think it's weird, or they think it's something wrong with their father or that man at the table. It is something wrong with them. They're going through something. It's called fucking andropause. And then anger slowly creeps its way in. And this one destroys relationships, family, marriages, jobs, you name it. It will destroy everything, because anger is the one emotion men are given permission to show. So everything else comes out as rage when they show anger. His kids start walking on eggshells. His partner stops sharing things with him, and he doesn't even fully understand why he's so angry. All he knows is that he's just angry, and it feels like he's angry all the time. Yeah, sometimes we can say it's the job or the stress or whatever else, but if you really pay attention to these things that I'm telling you a man is dealing with or going through, you will notice that they are dealing with fucking andropause. It is a thing, a real medical thing, a medical fucking condition. Just like perimenopause and menopause are medical fucking conditions. And all three of these should be put on insurance bill, so people can get the right proper help that they need to get through this shit. So now that you done got to that space of just being angry all the time, in comes exhaustion. That shit hits next. It's not tired from a long day of exhaustion of working. We're talking about like bone tired, the thing that we used to love. We stopped doing them. The goals we had, they feel pointless to us. And from the outside, it looks like men are just stopped caring about work, about family, about everything. And that's not the case. They're literally dealing with this thing called andropause. And that shit affects a lot of things, like I told you. So if you want to keep learning about this, I'm gonna keep going about this video. You can keep listening to this video until you get the full video. But I'm being
Well, let's stop them right there. I know I promised not I wasn't going to stop too much through the video, but so many questions that I'm trying to relate this to, trying to understand it. So is this something that you said is medically recognized, that doctors actually recognize this? Do all doctors recognize it, or is it just is it still a new type of understanding of a biological condition men go through?
Well, from the research that I did, doctors are very, very aware of it. But what was sad about it was men have to ask for the test.
Oh, there's a test.
Yes, it's a test. It is a testosterone test that is giving first thing in the morning if you go to the doctor's office, and it is a blood test. And once I did my research, I was really, really upset because men have to ask for the test. Like if we go into the doctor's office, it is just known that if we're having mood swings and our hormones are off, and it's just okay, we're going to do the test. We're going to do the blood test to see if, to see what your hormone levels are, to see if you are in perimenopause. It's just that easy. But when it comes to men, when I did the research, you will have to go into your doctor's office and ask for it.
Right.
Ask for the test. It is not something that is just normally given, just like for women.
Right.
It's something that you got to go in and request.
Well, I know, like I was reading about it after I saw your video and I talked to you, and I wanted to come up and have some idea. But it's like the symptoms are sexual reduction in sex drive, erectile dysfunction, decreased fertility, fatigue, reduced muscle mass. So that is so emotional swings. It's so broad though, because how would you know that's andropause? Because the description are so broad. Do they just like consider the age that you're feeling this and say, okay, that's what you're going through? Or is it like you just self-diagnose yourself?
No. Okay. So it's just like with perimenopause, we go through mood swings, depression, pretty much almost the same thing. Mood swings, depressions, low libido,
Right.
Just depression, the whole 9 yards. Okay. So when you go to the doctor as a woman, they're going to automate. If you go to the doctor and they say I'm having XYZ, da 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 da. Right. The first thing that they're going to do is say, okay, well, let's take the test. Especially if you are in that window of time when it comes to perimenopause. So it doesn't mean that it's almost like, when you have some medication and they tell you this is all the side effects.
Yeah.
Everybody's not going to experience all the side effects. It's just that some of those side effects are going to pertain to that individual.
Right.
Not all. You may get 2 or 3 side effects out of the 10.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, and so if you have to be honest with yourself, and sometimes it's very, very surprising that people don't know their bodies. But if you go into the doctor, or if your significant other is present and they say you're acting a little strange, you might want to take heed to it, because you may not see it. You may think, just like you said, it's just tired, it's work, it's this, it's just the stress of life. But that other person might say, you acting a little bit different. So it is time to go. Just better to be safe than sorry. Just go and have the test done.
Okay.
Yeah. That's just like I did. I started having my test done as early as 40.
So you would go to the doctor and say, test me for andropause.
Yes.
Okay.
Or test me for perimenopause. And it's a blood test.
I'm saying from a man's point of view.
Yes, from a man's point of view, yes. And the test, and the when I did my research, it specifically said that this test has to be done first thing in the morning.
Yeah. When you get that morning wood. No, I'm just
no, but anyway,
it is some biological function that happen with men in the morning. So I'm wondering why they say the morning.
I don't know that research part of it, but I'm assuming that it probably has something
Oh,
to do with that because
well, I'm just wondering why they.
you are testing
Is there a
your
time that women have to do it? Their test?
no any time of the day for
See,
us.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. They want you first thing in the morning. It must be a reason. That's all I'm saying.
It
All
could
right.
be. It could be.
Let's let this
Yes.
video play a little more before
Okay.
we go down too many rabbit holes.
Okay.
Serious with you, what it does to men. It harms men in so many ways. And the reason I'm telling you this stuff is because I went through it, and it hit me in my 30s, mid 30s, and it was going through all the way through my 40s. Like I was married at the time. I had the coolest wife in the world. Every brother and sister out there said, your wife is cool. I said, my kids were on point. They all had full bedrooms with full bathrooms. Well, one of them did. He had a big ass bedroom though. I had the big, beautiful bedroom.
You see how men think, what's that?
Yes.
What does this material things have to do with?
I think because that equates with I guess a healthy lifestyle, saying that he had it all. I think he was trying to say, I had the family, I had the house, I had it all, but yet I was still unhappy.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. He's talking about bedrooms. They had a bed. Like, I guess he's saying, well, I provided it all. I did. Yeah, I guess you have a point there. You have a point. Okay.
Myself, me and my wife when I was married at the time, and the Scarface type bathroom, lived in Sherwood Forest. Like the life was on point, but I was never fully happy. I was feeling missing. I was feeling depressed. I was feeling lost, feeling rage. All of these things were happening within me, and I didn't know what was going on or what was happening to me at all. I didn't know. Nobody understood. Quitting jobs, didn't even try, didn't put effort in my family, left stress on the woman I was married to. Everything was just terrible, what I was going through. Feeling missing, like a piece of me was missing, like I'm trying to find that piece of puzzle that belongs in this completed puzzle, but I can't find that piece to put in there for completion. And that was the thing that was destroying me. It was destroying me. Seriously.
So let me ask you really quickly, right?
Mm-hmm.
Women go through, and this is what I always take issue with when they say women are the weaker sex, because that's the biology doesn't, bear that out. They seem to be more physically capable internally, if that makes sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because, but let me ask you this: does menopause generally in women destroy their relationships, as he's talking about, or is it more of an internal conflict with women? But does it destroy marriages and families and affect children when women go through menopause?
I think no. And the reason why I say that is because men know that menopause or perimenopause is more pronounced, right?
Okay.
It's
Okay. Right.
Pronounced. So it's like, man, she going through menopause.
Right.
She crazy, or
right.
Man, she going through menopause. She about to freeze me to death. So it's a more pronounced
right.
and somewhat understood that she's going through life changes. But when it comes to a man, we never acknowledge that he's going through those life changes because most people do not know or understand that men have andropause.
Yeah.
And so it's not as pronounced. It's more looked at, from my perspective, it's more looked at as he's angry all the time. He's a grouch. He's a mean old man. You heard those phrases before.
Yeah.
He's a mean old man, not knowing that very well he could be going through andropause. Yeah.
So this is actually documented because, they're like, if you think about how I've read some things that they say women don't really, some doctors still believe that women don't have G-spots, you know what I mean? So is this an actually documented thing for men that they do suffer from andropause and male menopause? Is actually not a folk tale or anything?
No, it's actually known research, doctor-based information on it. And I just found out and discovered that it's here in Atlanta. I don't know the name of the clinic. I may try to get the name of the clinic before we get off. But anyway, if you are suffering from andropause and you have low testosterone levels, it is a place in Atlanta, Georgia, where you can go and get testosterone shots.
Okay.
So it is a known place. a known location. And it is, of course, it's not as announced as women,
Yeah.
because I don't know, maybe because men have this stigma of embarrassing. It's
Yeah.
embarrassing, or be, that I'm not the man that I was, or I'm lesser than a man because I'm going through life changes. And that
Right.
is no kind of way so, but I think that's why men have a tendency of kind of not asking for that help when they go to the doctor,
Yeah.
even though they may know that something is changing with their body, but they never ask for help.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
It's funny thing you say, man, think that they not the man they was. You're not the man you imagine you was. Really. That's
It's that I don't know. I'm not a man. I don't
well.
know.
A lot of men have this grandiose ideas of how they used to be. So I always say, you're not the man you thought you was. You were never that man anyway. But I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
Right,
And then
right.
there's this one thing that's taboo. No man ever wants to speak about or tell anybody about. Nobody wants to talk about this. Low sex drive, erectile dysfunction. For a lot of men, this right here, it hits their identity at the core. So they go quiet about it. They carry it alone. Their partners think it's about them, think that they're not wanted anymore, desired anymore. And now they feel shame. And actually both of them start to feel some type of way. And nobody's talking to nobody anymore because of that. Because of that. Now I will admit, I experienced some of that, but it didn't hit me as hard as other men I know it hit hard because they told me how they are, man.
Of course, of course.
He's
It
not going to admit it.
that's always, it didn't hit me that hard. Okay.
Right, right.
Here we go.
I'm attracted to my wife. I love women. For some reason, I just don't have a desire to smash women out here that talk about the single brother. Then the married man was like, I don't know what's wrong with me. My wife is desirable, but I just don't know, And that's a real thing. And I'm going to thank Marquita. She introduced me to the word andropause 2 years ago. And I started learning it recently because I was trying to understand menopause and perimenopause and andropause. From what I learned, what she told me about, I realized I was going through it back then. So I decided to learn more about it. Why isn't it a medical condition? Why is perimenopause not considered a medical condition? Why is menopause not considered a medical condition to be under insurance, to be a right to go to a doctor to get treatment for? Why is this not a thing? Oh my God. And then comes the fucking brain fog, right? Forgetting words mid-sentences, struggling to concentrate. For a man who has spent his whole life being the provider, the problem solver, the strong one, feeling mentally slow is terrifying to men out there going through that. So men hide it, and the isolation actually gets deeper from that. There's times where my kids were telling me I said this, and I'm like, no, I don't recall saying that, but apparently I did, Or I'll be talking and I just forget literally what I'm trying to complete when I'm saying something. It's crazy fucking work. This andropause is crazy work. Here is what I need you to hear, men and women out there, sons and daughters, whoever. Men between 45 and 64 have one of the highest suicide rates of any group. And andropause sits right in the middle of that fucking window. Depression that goes unnamed, identity that gets stripped away quietly, a lifetime of being told to man up and push through some shit. No language for what they're feeling at all. No permission to fall apart at all. That is a dangerous combination to put on a man. And when andropause hits you, it's not nice to you. And the worst part of all this is that it's treatable. It is. A blood test, a conversation with a doctor, therapy, lifestyle changes. There are real answers, but most men never get there because nobody told them what this thing really is that we're dealing with, that we're going through. And they won't even put it on insurance. Like they won't put perimenopause and menopause on there to be covered. And that shit is fucked up. It ain't fair. It's not right. I want you to share this to somebody you love. Man, I want you to share it to the man you love, the father you love, the uncle, whoever it is. And share it with women too so you can understand too what men deal with too. And you deal with a lot more, ladies. Don't get me wrong. I know all about menopause and perimenopause. I've been learning. You guys go through more. But I just want men to be aware of what they go through too. My name is Anthony Yash. I got to go. Be in peace. And remember, be a gift to the next human being. And I will say this. Go to Amazon. Get my book, Life Ain't No Fairy Tale, on sale for $15 right now. But it is going up to $20 in the next few days. Take care.
So
Yes.
menopause and perimenopause is not covered under insurance?
Well, it's a part of our annual women issues, I should say.
Okay.
Because when I took the test, it was a part of my healthcare,
Yeah.
plan.
Right.
It's nothing extra. That's what I'm saying. It's nothing extra when it comes to women. It's almost like going and having a pap smear. That's something that you have once a year.
Right.
Um, when you start going to your what is it, women's center or whatever kind of, what is it, family medical doctor, whatever, all of that when it comes to a woman is considered a part of the women's health, if that
Okay.
makes sense.
Yeah. Right.
Or it's it was just strange to me. I don't know. It was just really, really strange to me to know that men have to ask for it, and we are just known to just go in there and you tell the doctor how you're feeling, and they're gonna immediately say, "Hey, well, let's take a test to see if you're going through, perimenopause." So,
Well, I can understand it. Often you'll see women's health centers. Like if you
mhm,
see, like maybe a hospital complex, they have a building called Women's Health. You know
yeah,
what I mean? I think now they
mhm,
do have something called Men's Health sometime, but
they
most of the
do.
time it's Women Health. You see that quite often, right?
Hmm.
And to me, hearing about this, it mixes so much into everything else, right? The high suicide rate. I guess anthropause could be part of it, but it
Hmm.
also has to do with our society and the pressure that's put on men. That like when they lose jobs or they feel like they're not measuring up, most men, that suicide rate is very high for that. So I guess that
Yeah.
is something to look at, right? But I know
Yeah.
you've done quite a lot of research on it. So you want to tell us like the causes and the diagnosis and treatment to it?
Well, the cause is just life, life changing. Growing up, becoming older, an older adult, body is changing. Just like he said, once I did my research and found out you can reverse, right? You can
Mm.
reverse it. You can improve it. But the thing about it is, for women, we can't change or reverse ours, but we
Oh,
can
so
make
men
it better,
can, but women can't?
right?
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Oh,
Yeah.
I guess those testosterone shots you was talking about for men.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. And when
I
I say
guess
they
that's
can improve
synthetic,
on
right?
the testosterone, right? The testosterone shots to boost their testosterone levels back up.
Right.
So yes, it's a false way of doing it, but I mean it's still healthy because it's going to bring you back to your natural levels that
Right.
you are supposed to be at as a man, and it's going to make you feel better. And I didn't realize once I did my research that testosterone is a male hormone,
Right.
and it does, that hormone affects your inner body. It affects you as a whole, as a
Okay.
man. And so if your levels are low, you're going to have those symptoms. But if your
Mhm.
levels are wherever they should be, then you're going to have less of those symptoms or no symptoms at all.
Okay.
It is research is saying that research has shown that andropause, or age related to testosterone decline. Okay.
Uh-huh.
And it can be linked to a high risk of mood swings, like we said, and the suicidal rates. But
Mm.
in large studies, over 200,000 men, testosterone therapy users, remember I said it is, you can go and get the therapy, which is the shot.
Right.
Users had 53% higher odds of attempted self harm. That is when it's dropping. You know, this is how the research they did over 200,000 men studies. I don't know. I'm proud of that because I don't know too many men that's gonna put themselves in a study.
Oh, you
That's
pay some money. You pay some
right.
money and put themselves in a study. They'll put themselves in a study.
So a large study for over 200,000
They had a
men.
big budget, believe that. They paid some money.
Right. Okay, so so the testosterone therapy users. Okay, so we know that um, suicide rate can be high. It's one of the symptoms, not the be all.
Right.
end all symptoms, because you could just have the mood swings, you could have the short, the quick temper, mad or angry or whatever you want to call it.
Right.
Um, Now, in a smaller study in Japan, this is
Okay.
strange. A smaller study in Japan said severe andropause symptoms were associated with suicidal ideology over 10% of the cases. See, that's a 10% is a small case
Yeah.
number, So I guess they're doing a study between US men and Japan men.
Okay.
Okay, so this highlight how critical is it for men, which is the symptoms that we talked about: the mood swing, the fatigue, the irritability, um, and seeking your physician.
Okay.
So if you are here in Georgia, they have a clinic for men. They have a clinic for men, and it's called Ageless Men.
Okay.
You can go to this clinic. They will do your testosterone levels, and they will also give you testosterone shots
Okay.
if your levels appear to be low. It has, I know somebody personally that I just doing this research and talking about it with people, come to find out a very, very, very close relative of mine worked at the Ageless Male Clinic.
Mm.
And she was young at this time. She said it's probably been about, I don't know, 15, 20 years ago when she worked at this place. And she said she asked this guy, did it work? And he said, yeah, ask my wife. So
Right.
he walked away happy, what
Right.
I'm saying. So when I say that it can be changed, that's just one way. When you're talking about the testosterone therapy, that is just one way that you can boost it. Another way I talked about on my channel is through exercise
Right.
and food.
Okay.
Men bodies are made totally different from women, which we know. It's amazing. Just adding weights to your regular exercise regimen can boost your testosterone.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's as simple as just
Right.
adding weights.
Right.
That to me is amazing. I mean, just wow.
Well, I
What are
mean,
your thoughts on that?
it's not really, because just getting in an argument raises men's testosterone.
Yeah.
Just a conflict. So it stands to reason, because that's how we're made, right? The body thinks, oh, it's action time. So
Okay.
yeah,
Okay. Wow. I mean, I don't know. That's why I wanted, to us to have this collaboration from a male perspective and stuff like that, because it's nothing that we could do as women to reverse ours. It's just it's one of those things that we just go through, and it happens in that, and it's the end of that chapter in our life. It's not the end of our lives. It's we could still live a healthy life, a healthy sex life. I mean, it's not the, be all end all. Now, we do as women have hormone therapy if you choose to take it, but it does not change that process.
Okay.
Or that, you know what I mean? It doesn't stop the process.
Yeah,
it just,
it's still going to happen, right?
It's still going to happen.
But I guess men will still suffer from it, or does it clear up after a certain time? After a certain age?
It does. Well, it stops. I mean, just like when I say stop, it's the symptoms get better and better so you have to really focus on it's kind of reverse effect to me. When you're young healthy man, and then when you hit 30, you really got to focus on your health. Okay,
right.
So everything can be prevented or improved through food and exercise.
Okay.
No matter what you do. That's why I say it could get better. That means you have to continue to focus on your health.
Right.
You
Right.
know, as a man. So you can't be that slouch potato, couch potato. You know, you got to get up. You got to get up and move around. So if you're having ED issues, or if you're having mood swings and stuff like that, it is help. It's not. It's going to help improve and make it better.
Yeah.
It doesn't stop the natural process of life. If
Yeah.
that makes sense.
No, it's really nice to know that, like I said, knowing is half the battle. So now that you know, and I hope
Yeah.
this is reaching a lot of people out there, that you can take control over it. Unlike women who they can take limited control,
Yes.
but they're still subject to a lot of it. Men don't have to be subject to it, so they don't have to have mood swings like that. I used to think it was called midlife crisis. Are we talking about the same thing?
Yeah. Yeah.
Midlife crisis, male menopause. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and the thing about it is, like I said, back in the day, they didn't have that medical name on it.
Okay, right.
You know what I mean? And maybe they did. It just wasn't talked about because most men are not going to go to the doctor and say, I got mood swings.
Right.
What? Or I'm angry all the time. Or, most men are not going to do that because anytime you ask a man how do they feel, I'm fine. They're going to say I'm fine. So I wish men would stop doing that because it is something as quick as going to the doctor, changing your diet, and maybe getting a shot, once every 2 or 3 months.
Yeah.
And you have your life back. You know what I mean? You have your life back, your libido back or whatever, your mood swings are gone, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's worth it if, from my understanding, it may be a little bit more now, but I think she said that every time they came in, every 3 months or every 3 to 4 months, they took the shot and it was like $100. So if you, I don't know, it could be 150, 200 now. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, however, I feel like that's very cheap when it affects your livelihood, life. Your livelihood and life as
quality
a man.
of life, right?
Quality of life. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
That's not a lot of money.
Yeah,
it's very well worth it. Yeah.
Well, you're doing God's work. You're doing God's work, letting people know, putting this information out there, and we are totally grateful. As I said, this is Dominique from Feminine Health and Wellness. She does a lot of women-centered content. You need to check out her channel. Subscribe, thumbs up this channel while you're at it. The link to her channel will be there, so you can go over there and see her initial video that I asked her to come over here and share with the Conscious Collective, because she's talking about things that affect both people, in a very serious way. And a lot of times men don't know a lot about it. This is Men Mental Health Month. And so this is very timely. I did read the comments after you sent me the videos, and I went to the comments, and the comments were brutal. And this is another thing. It's a shaming that goes on when men do try to get help. Men do try to be emotionally intelligent, and they do try to understand themselves. Right. I'm just going to read you some of the comments. Right. This guy said, from the comments, you can see why men don't talk to women about anything serious that affects men. I don't know if you had a chance to read the comments.
I did not. I really didn't know.
You should definitely check a comment. Someone wrote, geez, these comments went sideways. Brother, you should create a group where men can talk about the reality of this without being sabotaged for women who have to be the bigger victim here. And he did give a lot of credit to women being highly affected. But, some women, that ain't good enough, right? It's like we want to take their pain. We want to be better men. And so to be a better man, you have to understand what you're going through.
Exactly.
The simplest sign that women have is awareness. Every woman knows that menopause is coming around a certain age, because you hear about it. Yes, some get it sooner, but the symptoms are weak known and documented, and their healthcare folks can provide guidance and insight. What my man is pointing to is here that men aren't always aware of this. And that's what we're
Mhm.
doing this video for, just so
Yes.
we can just get it out there. They just start feeling away without no explanation. You know, you get up one morning and you just don't have that drive. You just don't feel it. You're like, blah,
Mhm.
you know, because the awareness
Right.
doesn't exist on a large scale. Talking about a struggle that men have doesn't mean a woman's struggle is less. It means that both are dealing with something and need support. So I didn't read all the comments, but they were talking about how bad the comments were towards a man trying to communicate to other men, you know, hey, this is what you're going through. And then, you know,
Yeah.
people always talk about this is the problem I have in the consciousness. And I'm glad, you
Mhm.
know, I work on expanding people's consciousness that we
Right.
need to have understanding of each other's journey, right?
Right.
So we can
Exactly.
connect. You know, we need to know, you know, if your man is acting funny, you know, you're like, oh, he just acting funny. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
But now, if you see it in him, women, you can say,
Yeah.
baby, go get yourself checked out. I
Yeah.
see a change in
Exactly.
you. You know what I'm saying? You
Right.
like, and he will, if you have a good relationship, he's like, I have been feeling a little off. And now she
Hmm.
can point him in that way. And that's what's
Right.
important about the work that you do when you do include men. Most of your content at Feminine Health and Wellness is around women, but when you do
Yeah.
bring men in, it aids in our journey together. And that's what I'm interested in, how we can journey together and become oneness and not be against each other all the time. So, in the last few minutes, is there something else you want to share? And as we close this out,
Well, the only thing I wanted to kind of comment, I just want to kind of comment to what you just said about the awareness of it and how women can play a part in this, because most of the time men only go to the doctor because we ask them to, or we make sure that they do because we make their appointments and different things like that. But I would say to women, try to be understanding and patient, because everybody is going through a life-changing situation. And just awareness and just knowing could save, that individual, that loved one, just by saying, hey, go to the doctor, encouraging them, making a safe place and safe space for him to talk about how he's feeling.
right?
Because just like research has shown that it has been a lot of suicides behind this, and I'm just trying to bring it to awareness because men are hiding. That's why I say it is a hidden suffering. And
Yeah,
so I wanted to it was suffering and silence, and I wanted to bring it to awareness, to say, hey, you don't have to suffer in silence, and there is help, really simple help. All you have to do is just go to the doctor and get that straight, get that squared away.
we are so grateful that you have shared this information. It can benefit
Mhm.
both men and women. You know, you keep doing the work you're doing. If you guys haven't followed Dominique at Feminine Health and Wellness, click on the link, go over there and follow her channel. Thumbs up this video, thumbs up her video so this information can get out there. If you have questions, put them in the comments and we can start that conversation because the algorithm is going to pick it up, and then more people will know about this, and then we can start actually treating each other like caring human beings that are
Mhm.
sensitive to each other's needs. So I am totally grateful to you, Dominique, that you had an opportunity to come over here and share this information with the collective. I truly
Mhm.
appreciate that. I am always grateful that we can help our communities in any way we can. So thank
Okay.
you. I totally appreciate that. All right.
All
So
right.
again, thumbs up the video and go over there and join Dominique's channel. And hopefully we can have you back again soon when there's some related topic, some things that you feel like the men's side need to know. I would love to platform you again for that
Okay.
that vital information.
Right. And now just want to say this. Just remember, the name of the clinic is called Ageless Men, and it's one in Atlanta and it's one in Peachtree City.
Fantastic, fantastic. Thank you again, Dominique. Love and light.
Love and light.